So welcome to the innovation track. We've got some really great speakers, so thank you very much for joining us. I myself am heading up the Commit to Innovation group at Commit, so I have a real interest in this. The purpose of the innovation group is to help enable our community to innovate. So yeah, really it's all about you guys, so please do get involved. So a bit about me, I work in digital construction. I started off my career in the CAD and architecture world, so I was an architectural technologist. And then I moved into the BIM world, as it was back then. Perfect timing for me. I came from a different industry, so for me, I've always found our industry quite broken and fragmented, and there's got to be a better way. So, yeah, really, innovation is one of my passions. So, thank you very much for joining us. So, the speakers today. First up, we have Dr. Evy Sakellariou. Did I do okay? It's fantastic to have Evy with us today. She's basically Dr. Innovation is what we've been calling her, so it's going to be a great conversation starter, I think. Then we've got Alex, who is a researcher in digital twins and immersive environments. And then we've got Mo from Malta, and yeah, he's got some fantastic solutions out there, but also he's really interested in just innovation for our industry. So really pleased to have you all here today. So, have I missed a bit? No, sorry. So before, I will go back to the slide actually. Before we start that, I just wanted you to please take a moment. If you can, please get involved. I've created a very brief questionnaire. You don't have to fill it in now, but if you can signpost this for later, it should only take a couple of minutes to complete. As I said, we've created our Commit to Innovation group. We want to help our industry and our members to innovate. So we just want to get some data from you guys so that we can focus in the right areas, essentially. So please do share with your peers, colleagues, so we can get a robust data set so we can move in the right direction. Another link for you. So this is, you may well have the link already. It's for the LinkedIn, sorry, the Slido, so we can have questions for the panel session at the end of the speaker sessions. Please do use that, but we'll also ask questions in the room live if that's your preference. So yeah, make sure you select the innovation track when you're posting questions, please. And again, the Commit 2024 hashtag for any social media posts, please. Right, and I'm going to go back to introducing you because that's in the wrong order. So, like I said, we've got Dr. Evy Sakellariou, who is going to be speaking on the subject of constructing futures, blueprinting innovation capability in uncertain times. So Evy is a scholar, mentor, director, founder and chair in the areas of innovation, strategy and generative AI. My goodness, what a fantastic CV you have. Yeah, she's got experience in industry and is currently in academia. So I am really excited to introduce you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's move to...
Welcome. Thank you, Emma, for the invitation, and Vanessa. It's great to be here. My background is hybrid, so I'm not a traditional academic. So I started with Unilever, Greece, so this is where my accent is and my complex surname. And then they funded my PhD on innovation. And I moved also with Unilever to the UK, doing innovation for Europe. And then I dropped them. And I decided to add more value by researching innovation and teaching innovation at the uni. So now I work as an associate professor, reader, and director of innovation and creativity at Kingston University in London. So Kingston Uni is an amazing uni because, again, it's not traditional. It's the top entrepreneurial uni in the UK. So it's great because we can bridge practice and theory in the areas of entrepreneurship and innovation. And my last passion is Gen AI, so I'm one of the enthusiasts. So, and I have founded recently in the last couple of months a think tank for senior female leaders on innovation and Gen AI. Why is that? Because I found out as I was working with Gen AI that actually women do not use Gen AI. They're afraid of it. And therefore, by having this lack of skill and knowledge, they cannot progress to the top. So that's a new barrier to the glass ceiling. And on top of that, I'm developing my own LLM for innovation. So that's another, I'm so passionate about it. So I will build on this experience and these passions, and I'm going to share with you today how to blueprint innovation capability under uncertainty. And my presentation has 3 parts. One is going to be about the importance of innovation. The second part is going to be about definitions of innovation and innovation capability. And the third part is about the overarching principles, how to blueprint innovation under uncertainty. So we live in an environment that is characterized by high volatility, economic environment, social environment, geopolitical environment, ambiguity, unpredictability, complexity, accelerated change. We live in very uncertain times. Now you can be scared or feel fear. And indeed, the World Economic Forum estimates that 75% of organizations around the globe are not prepared for this pace of change. But it suggests innovation as a key strategic capability to navigate successfully these uncertain times in this landscape. So what does that mean? It means that across all sectors, we need to rethink the way we operate to both survive and thrive for now and in the future. So this is very important because innovation can actually help individuals, organizations, and ecosystems to be future-proof, to be prepared, to be agile and competitive. So what is innovation? So I'm going to talk about what is innovation according to the new research that we have published at the Journal of Technological Forecasting and Social Change. And also what's the difference between innovation and innovation capability. So innovation is not just mere innovative solutions, just creative solutions or the implementations of the solutions. It's more than that. It's the systematic practices that to develop and introduce future-focused, human-centered, novel and useful ways of doing things at work and in the marketplace. So it's already a little bit more augmented than merely developing solutions. And that can incorporate a lot of different things: business models, go-to-market models, products, services, or processes, internal processes within the organization. Now, to start innovation, and this is an area that I really am passionate about, to start innovation, we have to start by, it does not happen by chance, of course, but it has to start through a biotope. It's a Greek word, actually, biotopos. So it's the place of life. So it has to start by a biotope and nurturing safe space where creativity, experimentation, imagination, ideas are being born and developed. If you don't have this space, you cannot have all the others, nothing else. And of course, the challenge is to scale them up and to commercialize them if this is your objective. So very, very important. You see, again, innovation is a bit more complex, more demanding and challenging. And that place there actually is characterized by ambiguity. But this is part of the experimentation and the imagination. And some people feel uncomfortable with it. But as we said, this is where life begins of innovation. So innovation is not only multidimensional, but it's also multi-level. So it can occur at the individual level, group, where's the T, organization, that be it a startup, medium-sized or complex multinational, or the ecosystem that involves, for example, more organizations, the government or academia. So you have an ecosystem here with commit. Now, what is innovation capability? This is what we all want to have. Is actually about delivering innovation, managing innovation, leading innovation. Not just creating solutions, doing all those three together. And by being able to establish, to build innovation capability at the organizational or the ecosystem level, we can have competitive advantage. This is based on research, of course. Timely and adaptive decisions, which is very important in uncertain times that we all live in. Propensity to sense opportunities and threats, and I will add here the word that you use a lot in this sector, risk. And therefore, long-term performance success and higher profitability, I would argue, as well, because it's important. Now, how can we blueprint innovation capability? And I would like to share with you some overarching principles. These principles are not going to give you all the answers, right? It's just food for thought, a guiding framework based on my research, the research that I have done with my colleagues, the research in the innovation management literature field, and also based on practical experience, my own and others. Now put this together. And in order to apply those principles, of course, a thorough analysis, diagnostic analysis, and a deep understanding of the particular context has to be conducted. So it's not one size fits all, but they're just, as we said, food for thought and guiding principles. And I would like to introduce them to you and just discuss each one in brief today. Of course, open up a discussion and a conversation afterwards. So the 5 Ps, I call them the purpose, the praxis, another Greek word, that's purpose, process, place, and people. So these are the building blocks to develop, to establish innovation capability under uncertainty. I'm going to go and discuss each one in brief. Purpose. Of course, I start with a purpose. It's the end destination. But actually, by purpose, I'm sorry to say that, but I don't mean here just technology-driven or just a sales-driven purpose. I mean something more than that. Here we talk about a purpose that has a long-term direction and vision that is customer-centric, so it aims to bring value to the customer, to the end user. And it has, actually, it answers the question why we're doing what we're doing. So it's beyond just implementing new technologies, beyond just achieving sales. It's beyond that. It's having a purpose and how we need to answer how we're going to contribute if we are a company, how we're going to change the ecosystem in the long term. Or if we're an ecosystem, how we're going to change the regional system or the national system that we live in. So what is our role in the bigger context? So this is what the purpose is about. And our research has shown that the purpose, this type of purpose, is empowering. It's a purpose that brings internal alignment to all the people that they work together towards that purpose. It motivates those people to overcome the obstacles, the challenges, the risks that are on their way to the innovation funnel that I showed you earlier. And also, it can allow to give faster and more adaptive responses. A purpose like that is also flexible. It's not constraining. So this is the starting point or the ending point of the 5 overarching principles. And then, of course, I think you've heard that before today, innovation has to start from the top. It doesn't mean that it's not happening, everywhere within the organization or the ecosystem. But if you really want to build innovation capability, you have to start from the top, from the leadership of the organization or the ecosystem. And by that, we mean experts at the board level, for example, chief innovation officers. We talk about multidisciplinary teams. We talk about perhaps non-executive directors, advisors, subject matter experts from outside of the industry, from other sectors with high innovation rates. Because remember, we talked about life and the biotope. So in order for life to survive, it needs diversity of perspectives. So if you're stuck in the same perspective, in the same way of thinking at the leadership level, you cannot foster innovation. So that's why it's very important at the top level to bring on board different perspectives. Very, very important. And that actually resonates with the theory of Chisbro. You may have heard about that, open innovation. So open innovation is about bringing these kind of new knowledge, new perspectives into the funnel to reduce the cost and to enhance the time efficiency. And of course, it doesn't mean by open innovation that we don't still have closed innovation. Of course, it has to be there. You have patents, you have confidential data. But open innovation is highly important if you want to foster innovation capability. And that's the second overarching principle. Process. What are the procedural mechanisms? Of course, there are many. I would like to focus on two specifically. And the first one is to build, starting from the long-term purpose, empowering purpose, to build a roadmap of innovation, not just solutions about tomorrow, but solutions, projects that are short-term, medium-term, and long-term, that they're all building towards that purpose. And you can have agility. You can also mitigate the risks with the short-term solutions. You can have flexibility. I don't know if that makes sense, but this is actually what we have seen that actually works, and it works actually in sectors that are highly innovative. This is how they do innovation, not just focusing on the short term. And the other procedural mechanism, which is highly important, again, as I said, there are many, but I think these are two very important ones, is the leading performance indicators. We all talk about key performance indicators like sales, margins, market shares, cost, etc. And if you try to embed those indicators at the beginning of innovation, it's dead. You don't have innovation anymore, because you cannot really use this performance indicator at this ambiguous phase of innovation. But what you can have leading performance indicators. That means predictors of future performance, which means what? To measure at this early stage, to measure, for example, how many cross-functional ideas you have, how many cross-company ideas you have, or solutions that mitigated risks, or solutions that they were customer-driven or useful. Or, for example, how many innovation training people had, et cetera, et cetera. There are different measures and indicators according to the context. But suddenly, as soon as you start measuring that, you can see how the innovation capability is being built, and if there are any corrective actions that you need to take. But you're moving away from these specific sales-driven indicators. Place. Place is about the culture. And McKinsey 2023 study, and more studies and research, they all agree on the same conclusion. They all have the same conclusion. Creating an innovation culture where risk-taking is embraced must start at the top. So we talk about risk-taking at the top. It's also about fear. Do you feel fear when you try to innovate, when you try to risk something, to experiment with something new? Well, fear is a blocker. Absolutely. All studies say that. And fear of criticism, fear of failure, fear of career consequences can paralyze innovation. Obsessing too much about budget and deadlines will kill ideas before they get off the ground in the biotope. So you don't have a biotope anymore. You have a graveyard, right? So what can you do? Again, back into the 3 first principles, your purpose, which is empowering, the governance, leadership at the top level, and then all these procedural mechanisms that we talked about. And how you can actually accelerate, foster this innovation culture. Well, here I would like to talk about tools and then about the learning culture. So tools, here is my chance to talk about Gen AI, right? So Gen AI has been, there is research, there is practical evidence that can supercharge creativity and innovation at all levels, individual, group, organizational, and at the ecosystem level that I was discussing with you earlier. And what I mean by Gen AI, I don't mean just to use ChatGPT and say, summarize this, just prepare some bullet points, or write the minutes of the meeting. I'm talking about Gen AI LLMs that you can create yourselves, that it can be your personalized assistant to your projects, that can have domain expertise and knowledge. And I'm talking also about collaborative agents, that they work together in the ecosystem, right? And they can share learnings and how others have mitigated risks and how you can learn from the others through your nice Gen AI, ChatGPT. As simple as that, just by asking questions. But you have to teach it, you have to catalyze it, you have to harness it. So the key message here is, and I think we also talked about that in the previous sessions, so if you're not using it, just use it. That means if you start using it at the basic level, you're a light user. This is not enough. You have to become a medium user and then a heavy user. And then what's actually happening now in the high innovation sectors, they talk about creators. You create your own assistant. Yes, it's stupid, but you can create a smarter assistant that can catalyze your powers for innovating and mitigating your risks and help you achieve better results. You can do that. It's happening. We are developing this right now. So great news. I cannot underline the importance of using, adopting, and creating Gen AI for innovation capability. If you don't do it now, I think it's a high risk. It's bigger risk than not using it. Right. And then about innovation culture and people, which are linked, of course, because all these 5 principles are intertwined and they're linked together. So yes, we talk about the leadership, the governance at the top, but what happens with people in the organization, with people in the ecosystem? Well, there you have some champions. There are people who are innovators. We call them, the people, sometimes we call them ordinary innovators. Sometimes, my research has found hidden creativity and innovation. We have also found that it's happening, in hiding, and it's deviant, even that, when you're not supposed to innovate or something, but you do. This is happening. So all these examples, implicit or explicit, are out there. So you need to put light on those people. You call them ambassadors, champions. And these are the people who actually can help foster the innovation capability within the organization and within the ecosystem, bringing their use cases, being the go-to people, and also these people have to be trained all the time. That leads me to the next point, which is very important. An innovation culture for people is about a learning culture. And today, more than ever, we talk about a commitment from the top and from each one of us for continuous learning. Why is that? Because very soon what we know now will be obsolete. And by soon, I mean tomorrow. I started a research project. I got some money from Kingston Uni to develop our own LLM for innovation. And I had with me, because I'm not an engineer, I had a professor of artificial intelligence and a computer scientist with me. Guess what happened? And we had to report the actuals for the budget and the money every month. Well, every week something was changing because there were so many new developments in the area of Gen AI that we had to buy new stuff, new tools. We had to completely change what we were doing. We had to learn every single day, even the professor of AI. Can you believe that? I mean, that was really mind-blowing. And the people in the budget control, they were really shocked. Say, guys, you don't know what you're doing? No, we do know what we're doing, but the world is changing. Come on. So this is my point there. And that means that we need to reskill, upskill. We always have to be open and learn new ways of thinking about growth and talent within the organization, within the ecosystem. And what my area suggests, it's about future-focused and human-centered, which means customer-driven innovation and new technologies. We always have to be ahead of the curve in the new technologies. And again, my passion is Gen AI. It changes so fast. I have a newsletter that comes onto my inbox every 2 days, and there's so much news. I need to teach myself every week. So this is what we all have to do. The world is changing. Right. So, and concluding, so today I talked about the importance and I argued about the importance of building innovation capability under uncertainty. I discussed the difference and the complexities of innovation and innovation capability. And I shared with you the five overarching principles, how to blueprint innovation capability under uncertainty, the 5 Ps. Now, indeed, how can we construct future? Well, we cannot predict the future. But I believe we are the architects of tomorrow. And through innovation capability, we can build the future that aligns with our aspirations. I believe that our innovations don't just predict the future, but they help us build it. And that is why innovation capability is more crucial than ever. Thank you very much.